Miss Collier explains.
Stem and leaf plots.
Our learning intentions are to be able to interpret a stem and leaf plot and represent our own data in a stem and leaf plot. We will know we are successful when we can both interpret and create stem and leaf plots. Let's look at stem and leaf plots. Stem and leaf plots in everyday life. Stem and leaf plots are used to display data such as in a government, scientific, or business report. This stem and leaf plot is showing the daily temperatures. Notice that the graph gets its name from having a set of numbers in the stem and then other numbers coming off on the leaves. Stem and leaf. A stem and leaf plot is a useful way of presenting numerical data in a way that allows trends to be easily spotted. Each number is split into a stem, which is the first digit or digits, and a leaf, which is always just the last digit by itself. We can see here 53, we would put the 5 in the stem and the 3 in the leaf. 78, 7 in the stem, 8 in the leaf. 125, we put the 1, 2, which is 120, in the stem and the 5 in the leaf. By convention, so we're all doing our graphs the same way, our stems need to start with the smallest number and work our way down to the largest number, and we can't skip numbers in between. As well as this, the numbers in our leaves should be in numerical order, starting with the smallest at the stem and working out towards the largest number. The advantages of presenting data like this comes from when we have multiple numbers using the same stem. For example, this list of numbers, 122, 123, 124, 124, 127, 129, can be represented much more cleanly and simply using a stem and leaf. When we create a stem and leaf, it is also important to create a key so we can let people know what the stem and the leaves represent. For example, if I had a 4 in the stem and an 8 in the leaves, this could represent 48, it could represent 4.8, or it could represent 48 million. Using a key will help to show what my numbers are representing. Our leaves should always be lining up so we can see which stem has the most number of leaves. And as I said, we're always starting with the smallest number at the stem and moving outwards. We can identify outliers quite easily by looking at the smallest and largest stem and seeing if they are quite far away from all the rest. Let's have a go at interpreting stem and leaf plots. This stem and leaf shows the average daily temperatures for some different countries. A says write out the temperatures as a list. This is to make sure that we know how to read a graph. So my stem is 1 and my leaf is 3. And here my key says 2, 5 means 25. So 1, 3 must be 13. I don't have to write degrees Celsius each time. So let's write out a list. I've got 13, then 16, another 16, and a 20. 20, 21, I'll keep going. B, how many countries' temperatures are represented? Now, I know we have written out a list of all of the values, but I really want us to do these next questions from the stem and leaf so we can learn how we can get this information from the actual graph. When we think about it, the stem is just the first number, whereas the leaf represents the second number and represents every data point. So to figure out how many countries were recorded, we would count the number of leaves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 14 countries. C, what is the minimum and maximum temperatures? Well, my minimum temperature is going to come from my first stem, which is 1, and then the smallest number, which is 3. So that's 13 degrees is the minimum temperature. My maximum temperature is going to come from the last stem, which is 3, and the last number, which is 2. So 13 degrees and 32 degrees is my minimum and maximum temperatures. D, what is the range of temperatures? Well, I know range is maximum take away minimum. So I've got 32 degrees take away 13 degrees. And I'm going to calculate that to be 19 degrees. So the range is 19 degrees Celsius. Lastly, I have E. What is the median temperature? Now again, I want to get this data from the graph, not my list of numbers. I know that median is the middle number, so I'm going to cross out the bottom number and the top number until I only have 1 or 2 left over. So my smallest number would be 13, and my largest would be 32. Now, the next would be 16 and 30. Next would be 16 and 29. And I'm going to keep going. 20 and 28, 20, 26, 21, 25, and now I've just got 2 left. Now this is not the number 2 and the number 5, this is the number 22 and 25. I'm actually going to write them out here so I can remember my two numbers. I have 22 and 25, and I've got to find the median of these two numbers, which means add them together and divide by 2. So I'm going to add them together to give me 47, and then I'm going to go 47 divided by 2 to give me 23.5 degrees Celsius. You have a go interpreting a stem and leaf. Let's quickly check your answers. This is the age of people shown in a stem and leaf plot. A is write out the ages as a list. 18. B, how many people are represented? I'm going to count the number of leaves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That is 9 people. C, what is the youngest and oldest people's age? The youngest is 1/8, which is 18. And the oldest is my stem of 4, which is 43. D, what is the range of ages? That's going to be 43, take away 18. That's 25. The range is 25 years. And lastly is E, what is the median? I'm going to cross off the smallest and the largest till I have 1 or 2 left. Now, I've got 1 left, which is 0, but that's not 0, that's 30. So 30 years old is the median age. Let's have a go at creating our own stem and leaf plots. It says represent this data as a stem and leaf plot. My first step is to put them in order, which we know how to do. I like to cross them off so I don't get any lost. I've got to find the smallest one first and then go from there. Next, I need to figure out what my stems would be. I go from 10 to 30, so I'm going to need the stems 1, 2, and 3. First, I draw a line and then a line across. And I write stem and I write leaf. Now I'm going to write all my stems in. I start with the first one I need, which is 1, and I have to write all of them until the last one I need. Even if your data skips a whole set of 10, you still need to write the stem in. 1, 2, 3. Now I'm going to put in my leaves. Because I've put my numbers in order already, it's going to be super simple. I look for all the ones that are a stem of 1, which is 10 and 16. And I'm going to write the number 1, and then I'm going to write the number 6. And I want to make them evenly spaced. Next, I'm going to do the stem of 2, which I have 23, 25, and 27. So that's going to be a 3. I need to put it directly underneath the previous leaf. The next one is 5, again, evenly spacing it underneath that 6. And lastly, I have a 7. Now I'm just going to do my stem of 3, which is all the rest of my numbers. And I'm going to put the 1 directly underneath. 3, 4, 4, 6, 6, 7. The reason we need to make sure they line up and they're evenly spaced is so that we can easily visually see which is the greatest and which is the smallest stems. I'm not quite done because I need a key. So I'm going to write key and I'm going to do an example. I'm going to use my last number, which is 3, line 7. And then I write equals and I'm saying 37. You have a go at creating a stem and leaf plot. Let's quickly check your answers. I'm going to put them in order first. Now that I've done that, I'm going to figure out all of my stems, which I'm going from 20 to 48, so I'm going to need 2, 3, and 4. I'm going to draw up my line, usually would be with a nice ruler, and I'm going to write stem and leaf, starting with my first stem, which is 2, and moving down until my last one, which is 4. I'm going to start with the stem of 2, and I've got the numbers 4, 5, and 9. Next, I'm doing my stem of 3, which I have the leaves of 2, 5, 6, and 8. And lastly, I have the stem of 4, which I have 1, 2, and 8. Almost done. I just need to create a key. So I'm writing key and I'm going to do the first number this time. 2, 4 equals 24. I hope now you can interpret and create a stem and leaf plot.